Looking for a weight loss solution that actually works? Weight Loss by Hers provides access to GLP-1 medications with personalized care to help you hit your goals. Hers is transforming women's healthcare by providing access to affordable weight loss treatment plans delivered straight to your door if prescribed. Hers offers a holistic weight loss program with personalized solutions, including compounded GLP-1 weekly injections featuring the same active ingredient as Ozempic and Wegovy or oral medication kits. So if you've been struggling with your weight loss journey, it's time to find the best option that works for you through Hers. Start your initial free online visit today at forhers.com/KKC. That's FORHERS.com/KKC for your personalized weight loss treatment options. forhers.com/KKC. Hers weight loss is not available everywhere. Compounded products are not FDA approved or verified for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. Restrictions apply. Wegovy and Ozempic are not compounded. Actual price depends on product and plan purchased.
Thank you to our partner, Mentos Gum. You ever feel like you're just going through the same motions day after day? We've all been there. Staring at brake lights, in traffic, or stuck in a long meeting. Not anymore with Mentos Gum. Listen up. This isn't just your regular gum. We're talking about a whole vibe refresh. Think of it as your personal reset button. One piece, and suddenly that traffic jam becomes your private concert venue. That meeting that should have been an email, it turns into a full-on fiesta. From flavors like fresh mint to bold strawberry, Mentos Gum transforms ordinary moments into fresh possibilities. Whether you want to switch up your route home or keep your mind fresh in a meeting, refresh the everyday with Mentos Gum. Yes to fresh with Mentos Gum.
Welcome back for another episode of Reality Life with KKC, and you guys asked for it, and you're going to get it. A review of the premiere episode of The Baldwins on TLC. This is a show about Alec Baldwin and his wife, Hilaria, and their 7 children together. Of course, we know that he has a daughter, an older daughter, Ireland, from his first marriage to Kim Basinger. The announcement of the show came as a real surprise because there was a period of time where Alec Baldwin would get into full fights with paparazzi outside of his apartment in New York City and wanted to go off the grid. And then he met Hilaria, and she seemed to really enjoy the limelight. She's 26 years younger than him, and she was a yoga instructor and seemed to have no idea who he was, which is, by the way, complete surprise to people who lived in New York City. So the couple met in February of 2011 at a restaurant in the city. And at that time, he wasn't looking for someone, but his connection to her was undeniable. And they started dating that summer. And then the following year, he proposed and they married 2 months later. She became pregnant with their first child, their eldest daughter, 5 months after the wedding. And then they went on to have 6 more children. What's interesting, though, not all the kids and the fact that she's so much younger, it's that in December of 2020, a Twitter account put out this tweet. You have to admire Hilaria Baldwin's commitment to her decade-long grift where she impersonates a Spanish person. And people were like, wait, what? And then the good people of the internet, they started digging into her personal story. So 1 week after this tweet came out, she spoke to the New York Times and confirmed that she was born Hillary Hayward Thomas in Boston and had spent time in Boston and in Spain, and her family members called her Hilaria. She said, my family now lives in Spain. I moved to New York when I was 19 years old, and I have lived here ever since, she said at the time. For me, I feel like I've spent 10 years sharing that story over and over again, and now it seems like it's not enough. Except people started digging. Now, here's weird. In June of 2013, she retweets a Latina magazine article that lists her as one of the 15 best dressed Latina stars of the week. Again, she was born and raised in Boston. Her parents both worked and lived here in the United States. They are not Spanish at all. In March of 2014, a Vanity Fair España article mentions that she didn't want to provide or confirm her biographical details. Then in a now infamous video segment, she appeared alongside the Telemundo host Evi Ciscos and taught viewers how to make authentic gazpacho. The video's caption said it was part of the People en Español festival in New York City. She speaks with a pronounced accent and at one point seems to forget the English word for cucumber. She says, We have tomatoes. We have, how do you say in English? Cucumber? Again, born, raised, Boston. In March of 2016, she's interviewed by Latina Magazine, and the article identifies her as a Spanish American. And in April of 2020, she records a podcast with friends where she gives the impression that she moved to New York City from Spain when she was 19. So the fact that he's this movie star and they're doing all these media interviews all the time, it really captured people's attention. They're like, what is the real story and why didn't he notice? And is he part of this weird story? Then, of course, he has all these legal troubles. His involuntary manslaughter charges were dismissed in July of 2024. The district judge agreed with his lawyers in the argument that prosecutors hid evidence related to a shooting that took place on the movie set of Rust. So, this show began filming the month before that case was dismissed, in the thick of his legal issues, the apex of it. And I feel like people are most interested not in the legal issues, but what's the story with her background? And of course, it's on TLC, and there are lots of children, but the children almost surprisingly seem like secondary in this show. She really seems to be the person that is most in the forefront of this show. So again, it's called The Baldwins. It's on TLC. We've been looking forward to this, and I roped Chris DeRosa in. We cover it all. The one thing I forgot to tell him, though, is that apparently Ilaria told Vanity Fair España that her family couldn't pronounce her new surname, which is Baldwin, but their last name is Thomas. So it's just little stuff like that where you're like, wait, what? You're going to get it all. So we do not think this is like the most groundbreaking TV show. We've got a lot of points we would like to make for you. However, of course, you are free to watch the show and make your own assumptions. This just happens to be our opinions. And as always, we are hoping that we give you a couple laughs in the process. So, The Baldwins, TLC, here's my interview with Chris DeRosa. Okay, Chris, before we get into the real meat of the bone, I have to tell you.
People are, to quote myself, chomping, not champing. It is champing, but people are chomping at the bit for this. Like all day today, I'm skiing in Vermont. I'm checking my phone, like DMs, like, when will you be on KKC to talk about this? Like many, when I say many, I mean more than 20 people DM.
Oh, good.
We need everything. Where's KKC? What is happening? Blah, blah. I'm like, guys, we're recording tonight. Don't worry, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
Am I 1.5 nearing 2 sheets to the wind? I sure am.
I couldn't have asked for more. Well, first, I have to just tell you that there's a Page 6 article because Pamela Anderson is a lifestyle show that was put out on Netflix. She lives in Canada and she's making recipes and in her garden. And as we know, Meghan Markle has a show coming out. We've only seen 82 seconds in the trailer, so we don't know what it's about. But these two trailers look exactly the same. How could a network allow that?
Because they're like, oh, this worked for this, so let's just do that. But it didn't work.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I would be mad. Both of them should be mad.
Well, here's the thing. The networks are like, oh, this worked? Great. Or like, we liked this, like, let's do that. Or the editors are like, oh, we edited this thing, or like we saw this other show that was similar and they liked this trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Like some executive was like, you know what trailer we loved was the Pamela Anderson trailer.
Right.
Get what I'm saying? And so they were like, okay. And they just made the exact same thing. And the network executive is an idiot and was like, this is amazing. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
that's what that was. Pamela Anderson had a lifestyle show that didn't come across our desks at all.
Nope.
What? But like, how?
I don't know.
Like someone should have told us that. No?
No, I know. I agree with you.
Was it only in Canada and now they're releasing it here?
Maybe that's a possibility. I don't know.
Because like why has not one blogger or like Instagram person or you been like, Pamela Anderson has like a lifestyle show. Shouldn't we review it? And I'd be like, yes.
Yeah. Do you know what it reminds me of? Remember, like, I don't know, a year and a half ago, I said, and I'm not going to name this person, but it was somebody on Instagram who had a very large audience with a lot of comments and likes, etc. And we were like, it's the most famous person we've never heard of.
Oh, yeah. I'm constantly doing reconnaissance on like someone that no one knows that you and I know that are on our radar that like, I'm like, could this be a true crime documentary about this person being a scammer? Yes.
Yes, all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, well, as we lead into the Baldwins, there are a couple things for context.
Speaking of, by the way.
Exactly. A couple of points. For my own personal note, I just want to remind people that I get fired up about the story because my own father is an American, born and raised in the Philadelphia area.
Sure.
Disappeared for many years throughout my childhood. Reconnected as an adult, and he had a full Irish brogue and told my husband that he went to boarding school in Galway. And I said, you went to Great Valley High School and you were on the track team and I saw your yearbook photo. So I have a particular short fuse for people that make up stupid stories and have fake accents. Okay, so that said, we all know that Alec Baldwin has been this heralded actor. He was an A-list heartthrob for many, many years, countless movies. He had a fantastic role on a little show called 30 Rock, playing an exec named Jack Donaghy. It was a great show.
Maybe you've heard of it. In the 2010s, he courted and resisted controversy extremely temporarily. I am really being honest here because it was a short period of time. He wanted to walk away from public life. And the New York Post, I believe, mocked him in a cover story because it was the shortest walk away from entertainment anyone had ever seen. Well, wasn't this after the voicemail that heard around the world?
Right. So there was a voicemail that he left for his daughter, Ireland, the oldest of his 8 children, and he called her a pig and he just sort of disappeared. He also got so sick of paparazzi that he would punch them in the face.
Yeah.
So when he emerged from the shadows with a woman 26 years younger who was a yoga instructor, and suddenly she got a job on Access Hollywood, and when she got pregnant with the first child and was giving tours of the nursery, it was perplexing for a lot of people, particularly people in media and entertainment who thought, who stole Alec Baldwin from the world and put in place this weirdo? So I should also note, he's been in the news because in 2021, there was a shooting on the set of the movie Rust. This accident took the life of a cinematographer and it injured the director. And it was the result of a live round being discharged from a prop revolver handled by Alec Baldwin.
From him. Yeah.
Yes,
thank you.
That case against him was dismissed in July of 2024. So just for context, this reality show we're about to talk to they began to film in June of 2024. So the actor was dismissed of charges in July of 2024, but the armorer is still serving an 18-month sentence for her own involuntary manslaughter conviction.
P.S. Alex should also be there. Yes, thank you.
Yes. That's my opinion.
My opinion.
Yes, okay.
But yes, he should be serving time. Thank you.
So again, Ilaria is 26
years
younger.
Thank you for saying her government name. Thank you so much.
She's 26 years younger. She was a yoga instructor. There are a lot of questions about whether or not she knew who he was before, because the narrative from Alec is that it was refreshing to meet someone who just had no idea that he was a celebrity. She was just this hot little, Spanish woman who just loves to eat vegan food and be mindful of the world around her. They did get married, and it was a Spanish-themed wedding. She wore like a lace veil, and she had all of her relatives. And it was written about in the media like she had just come fresh from a plane from Madrid. So that was perplexing because with that lingering public confusion about our ethnicity in late 2020 during COVID, when people spent way too much time on computers and phones, etc., there was a Twitter thread with evidence that her accent and identity were purely made up. What people need to know is Ilaria is actually born Hilary Lynn Hayward Thomas in Boston to a family of English, French, Canadian, German, Irish, and Slovak descent. So that's where we are.
Is that where we are? When they try to talk about her accent, the side skirting of all of that was amazing in this show. I don't know if I'm jumping ahead, but she's like, oh, I speak Spanish and English. They're like, duh, obviously I use a Spanish accent when I speak Spanish. I'm like, yeah, no shit. Anyone that's actually fluent in a language, like doesn't speak it like an American speaking that language. Like, yeah, that's not what we're here about. What we're here about is when she's like being put on like the cover of like Spanish magazines, being like, Hilaria Baldwin, like Miss Madrid herself. And it's like, no, she's from Boston and like has white, like American parents. Like, yes, you drift in and out of an accent. Like, yeah, I get that. If you speak two languages, that happens, period. What I don't get is when I say this all the time and everyone laughs at me. I don't think Alec knew that she was not Spanish. Like, I don't think that Alec Baldwin thought that she was Hillary Hayward Thomas from Boston whenever they met at Pure Food and Wine. The scene of the motherfucking crime of Bad Vegan. Let's not forget. Like, grift recognized grift. She was there.
Yeah.
She was there at a table speaking Spanish. Again, this is literally my fantasy.
Yeah.
She's speaking Spanish at a table at Pure Food and Wine on purpose to try to trap Alec Baldwin.
Because didn't he do some sort of interview where he said he would love to meet someone from Spain?
No. In 30 Rock, Salma Hayek was then like one of his love interests.
Right. That's right.
On the show. And he was like, I'm in love with you. She's like, you're a loser. And she was like, bye, gotta go. Like, she was like, okay, yeah. And like, I'm Salma Hayek. Like, I want to nab a billionaire, which she did. Like, I don't need to, like, no. Like, you're a movie star that started doing television and it wasn't 2017. Like, bye. And she didn't like him, but he was like, I'm so in love with her. Like, I want to be with her so badly.
I do feel like
that was the big rumor.
Yeah.
That was the big rumor. And then Hilaria heard that. And then she was like, here I come.
So you're saying she was sitting there, she was having some sort of tofu situation. She overheard this with like her go-go gadget ear.
She heard it like on the internet and then was like, we need to go there. So I can like be on the phone speaking Spanish accidentally in front of him and then like lure him in. That's what I think. That is, again, a conspiracy theory, but what I think happened.
I'm kind of getting that.
Right?
Yeah, no, that kind of feels right. So the question is, at what point does he realize, because he's got to meet her family. Now, I should also know that she said, I'm raising my kids to be bilingual. I was raised bilingual.
Sure.
My nuclear family now lives over in Spain. But when he met them, wouldn't he be like, Barbara, Bobby, whatever their names are, tell me a little bit about yourself. And they're like,
Tiffany,
we just moved to Spain 3 years ago, and this is our son, Jacob. And he also went to Boston College or whatever. Like, he had to know pretty quickly into this whole scenario that this was like a made up, exaggerated story. So why did he continue to be committed to this story? Is it because
I don't know.
He is truly in love with her and she is the salvation, or what?
Well, she was doing splits. She was doing she was up to stuff that we've never even seen before in the bedroom.
Velvet vagina, right?
Like Leslie, and remember, like, what's her name? Prince, the girl that banged Prince that was like with Gary and the family.
I remember.
Like,
yes.
that's not even. We're so far past that. It's not even, yeah, correct.
Yes.
She was doing shit that that I didn't even know could happen is in the bedroom. 1,000,000%. And then when she locked him down, which, like, P.S. respect, like,
clamps,
full respect, full respect for that. By the way,
like a vice.
Yes, when she locked that down, quite literally and clitorally, not to invoke my own podcast, but truly clitorally, she was like, "Listen, I don't even think I believe this. I think that I don't think he knew until like the drama happened." I think he's so checked out. He didn't care what her.
You think he was so checked out?
He's like, you're a fucking loser, parents. Who do I care? You know what I mean?
You know what? He is an actor. Maybe he didn't even really talk to them. He was like, "What's your name?"
No.
Like he like 8 months into it, he's like, "Wait, what's your mom's name again? Like, where do they?"
He's
from?
like, "I'm Alec Baldwin." Yeah, no.
Yeah, you got. And like, you're right.
I'm
maybe
fine
they
with
just
that.
talked to him, and he never asked one question.
Fine with that. Like, I get that. Like, I see where we are. Then it's like, the drama starts happening with like, oh, she's from Boston. And he's like, what? And then like later, like he went on the like Tonight Show or like David Letterman or something and was like, my wife is from Spain. Like said that.
I do remember that.
Behind the delivery trucks that keep your life stocked, thousands of employees at BP go to work every day. People bringing a new offshore production platform online. People making our refineries capable of more, like making renewable diesel from agricultural waste. People trading and shipping fuels to our customers. And people helping truckers fill up and get maintenance at our convenient locations. They're part of the more than 300,000 jobs BP supports across the country. Learn more at bp.com/investing in America.
In the depths of an Atlanta forest, a clash between activists and authorities ends in tragedy. But the official narrative doesn't add up. I'm Matthew Scher, and on my new podcast, We Came to the Forest, we peel back the layers of secrecy surrounding a deadly confrontation that shook a community to its core. Through exclusive recordings and never-before-released eyewitness accounts, we expose the hidden truths behind a shootout that left one activist dead and countless lives forever changed. As we dig deeper, we uncover a web of conflicting testimonies and missing evidence. From the idealistic dreams of young environmentalists to the complex motivations of local officials, this story challenges our understanding of justice, activism, and the lengths people will go to protect what they believe in. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.
So I asked a friend who is someone who moves in circles in the Hamptons in New York City, and she said most people knew that she was full of shit. It's just they didn't have the balls to say it to him. And I'm like, is he so enraged?
Also, it's not their
or in disbelief?
It's not their business.
I guess. Yeah, maybe they're more like that. They're like,
no, what I mean, it's like it's not their business.
It's not our issue. We don't care.
Oh.
Yeah.
And again, listen.
By the way, that's why we don't hang out there, because you and I'd be like, I'm sorry, what?
No, but also like that's not. Listen, let her be a grifter. That whatever. But once you try to be like, oh, I'm like when she's on like the cover of like Latina magazine or like
she sure
whatever
was,
the
right?
fuck, there was like all these like news articles that were like, and then Hilaria, because she was like born in Mallorca and she just like didn't correct them. I'm like,
that's diabolical.
That's the bad part. A lot of this episode is like her defending herself, and I'm like, girl, like you don't need, no, be a gold digger. When she's like, I'm 26 years younger than him. And it's like so weird whenever like blah, blah, blah. And like people think I'm a gold digger and this is why. And I'm like, yeah, no shit.
Right.
Like I'm fine with that. You're a gold digger of this loser idiot that like would take you. Yeah, sure.
I think that she always wanted to be famous. I mean, the fact that he was like, yeah, I'll get you a job as an Access Hollywood correspondent. And the fact that the people at like that network were like, yeah, that sounds good because you're Alec Baldwin's wife or girlfriend and we really want to do more projects with him is kind of crazy.
No, it's great. No, I'm saying respect. Like I'm putting respect on her name in the sense of like, she was like, let me grift this man at this charlatan restaurant and then we're good to go. And then I'm going to have 9 million. I'm going to repopulate the earth with our children. Like that's not to slam you.
Well, okay, you know why? I think
not to slam you.
Well, me because I have 5. You know what's funny? I can totally separate myself for this for a minute. I think she's the kind of person that probably felt like she wanted to become famous, and the only time anybody paid attention to the wife of Alec Baldwin was when she was pregnant and had a baby.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
So it's like. Also, when she's talking to the kids on the show, which we can get to in a second too, is like she talks to them in English and Spanish. I don't think they listen to anything she says. Doesn't matter what language, because she does not really seem to have any control over that house at all.
I know, but I also think someone was like, oh, the producer was like, be bad to the kids. And they were like, okay. It's like always like that. The whole show is just them like screaming. And I'm like, can we not have this?
You know what? They don't really seem like wild kids.
No,
they're
that's
just
the
like
thing.
Little.
It's like them acting. The whole thing is every person is acting in this show.
The oldest daughter of the group of 7.
I know. I love her though.
She definitely is very, very aware of cameras and angles and personalities. And I'm like, oh, that's a kind of a bummer. Like if she were my daughter's friend, I'd be like, can I take you out for ice cream and we'll just talk about real stuff?
Yeah, like, and also like, can you be, like, I feel bad for you. You know, when she was like, I was born an adult. And she was like, yes, you were. Well, yuck. I was like, your kids shouldn't say that to you.
They should not say that. No. And also the way that he's kept saying his 7 children. I'm like, dude, you got another one. What are you talking about?
He needs us to forget about the Ireland voicemail.
But I think she's in the show. I think she shows up in an episode.
Yeah, because they beg her on bended knee.
Yeah, they're like, here's a couple bucks.
And they're like,
something.
here's money. And she's like, sure.
Let's move through the issues that you have as a reality TV producer.
Okay. What is this show?
What is the show?
That's A. That's
yeah.
Article A. What is it? Like Exhibit A.
Mm-hmm.
What is the point of the show?
No, wait. We should also note that when we talked about this as a television show before, you astutely said, I think that they went with TLC because other networks would probe them with questions, and TLC will let them do whatever they want because that's a network really that's about
to be like, but it's
all
like,
these kids and
like,
the slapstick stuff.
Here's this like freak show family kind of a thing. Yes. Which we see. The show is that.
Mm-hmm.
Name right. And let's not forget, I'm so sorry to throw it all the way back, but let's not forget when I fixed her in one of my first episodes ever of my podcast, my pitch for Hilaria, which one was they need to do a reality show called The Baldwinitos Take Majorca. Now, did we get the Baldwinitos Take Majorca? We sure didn't. But did we get a reality show about the Baldwins as her fix, which she is trying to use this to fix both of their images together?
That's correct.
Like,
and
right? Am
get
I wrong?
ancillary opportunities also, which is a trifecta.
And like, so if you want to say the Fixing Famous People doesn't produce, it does.
I would agree with you. I think that she probably had someone listen because she had a podcast for about 3 seconds about motherhood.
Oh,
she
brother.
probably heard it.
What a surprise. What a surprise. And now this is that, by the way. This show is what she thinks it is. Yeah. Okay. The show is about nothing, which is fine. There's many shows that are about nothing that are funny. Mm-hmm. He is so famous. And we've never seen in this light before. Mm-hmm. That his overwhelming star power overpowers her because she thinks she's the star of their relationship, and she has like -5 star power.
Right. Yep.
Not only is her voice so annoying, and not in a fun way, not in like a Sutton Strack way or like a Gabby on Traitors way.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like. There's people with weird voices that we're like, oh my God, I love when they talk because it's so entertaining. Mm-hmm. She has like a helium voice that's so annoying. And
by the way, gone is the accent. Gone, baby, gone.
Yeah, nowhere to be found is the accent where she like shows up on national television all the time. I mean, I'll never get over the fact that they try to sidestep it as being like, people said that I had an accent. It's like, no. That's like not at all what we were upset about, like at all. We were upset that you grifted the world and we're being like, I'm this, like, I'm from Spain. I'm from Spain. That's there. I don't even need to go any further than that. I'm from Spain. No, you're not. You're from Boston. Thank you. Hillary.
By the way, do you think her parents are like, wow, she's really taking this a little far?
No,
No, or they like the attention.
Was
they
it?
Like all of it.
What was it whenever like they met him and she was like, oh my God, these are my... She was like doing like Sofia Vergara and Bonner Family.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like that's what she was doing. And they were like, and her parents were probably like, hello?
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Like they got into the car
like
afterwards and they're like, we don't know what just happened, but I guess we have to be they're fully like Spanish now.
Shell-shocked. And she was probably like, shut your fucking mouths. Like when you show up here, like you just, whatever I say, you go with it. You fucking little bitches. You know what I mean? And they were like, okay. Like, that's what, like 100% that's what happened.
What about the brother? The brother's like telling his girlfriend or his wife, he's like, I don't know what happened to my sister, but now like I can't leave this country. I have to live here for the rest of my life.
But like, how like, because like if we did that, like if I did that with my parents would be like, are you okay? Like they would be like embarrassing me like in front of the person. Do you know what I mean? Like they would be like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Oh, my family wouldn't even show up to meet the person to begin with. Yeah. So. By the way, sidestep, we could make a whole movie about someone who did this, but like pick a different country and all the weird characters, like Parker Posey has to be in it.
Yeah, no, sure. Parker Posey will be her. Yeah. It's like the Hilaria story, but we just change it so that she can't sue us. Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
I don't like that in the shot, like the interviews that they do on the couch. And maybe this is because I'm still sort of like struggling through the moments on Love is Blind with Meg where I have to look at the bottoms of her feet. I don't want to see
that are dirty.
I don't want to see feet. I don't want to see feet. I don't want to see feet. Can we make an end to this?
Well, they're trying to be like, oh, we're going to be like so different and alt and different. And like,
we're
not
down
going to do like a normal, we're not going to do like a normal, like interview like Housewives. We're going to do like something. It's so relaxed. This whole show is like, we're doing something so different. And it's like, you're not. You're doing a bad show is what you're doing.
What do you think about the shot in the backyard of the massive Hamptons estate? And it's like a blow up slide situation that they probably rented the day before.
The fact that they robbed us of a video of him going down that slide with his like fat pot belly and falling over. Like, how dare they? When it cut to him having that video camera of his face, I was like, no, I need to see like this roly-poly of a man who's been decimated to like nothing. I need to watch him like roll down that thing.
I know.
That would be like the meme that would like, we'd have that meme forever.
Forever. What do you think about the scene in the barbershop? I thought that was so, let's do something in the city where we really live, but we can't fit anywhere. So let's go to a barbershop.
Give me a break.
Yeah.
That was, and then she's like, oh, like, let's FaceTime our daughter who's not here, but like is just in the apartment alone. You know what I mean? And she's like she could have just came and been there. She's like, what do you think daddy should get his haircut like? I'm like, first of all, act like he gets his haircut there. 1, 2.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. All the kids, I get that. Like, I get it. Like the boys are getting their haircut, blah, blah, whatever. This is not what I want the show to be.
By the way, if I called my 10-year-old, I was like, I'm here with daddy. And I'm doing something. Like,
they'd be like, bye. Yeah, hang up the phone on you. Not even an answer. Yeah, same.
Later.
And then she like sent him that picture of him when he was like younger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. 10-year-olds, by the way, 10-year-old didn't do that. 10-year-old didn't do that.
No, exactly. They like planned it before. Or like,
by the way, if she is Google imaging her dad's picture, she's Googled YouTube videos of her mom with a fake accent.
Yeah.
That's what she watches at night.
This is the thing. I would like the show. Okay, the show is bad. P.S. Not in a good way. If it was bad, if it was funny bad, like we would be, this would be a much different
conversation. Ha ha ha, all day long.
The show is terrible. And here's why. She's so annoying and insufferable. Yeah. And he is like unhoused. Like my mom was like, he looks like a homeless person. Everyone today has been reaching out to me being like, why does he look like he doesn't have a home?
Right. He doesn't because she took over. Took over. By the way, he's allergic to cats. She gets 4 of them. She does not care about this dude.
No. And that's his fault. I'm sorry.
This is not a love story between Ilaria and Alec. This is a love story between Ilaria and Amir.
They want to kill each other. When he said to her, we want to know when I love you the most when you're asleep.
Well,
if someone said that to me, I would jump off of a bridge.
got going.
You know what I mean?
When you're asleep?
Like, he said that to her on camera. Like, not even.
Yeah. Okay, by the way,
that's bad.
They have 2 additional children than I do. I don't understand how you could have, if you come to my house and you're going to like make a show about us, you're going to see my babysitter taking days to dance. Like why? Like none of the help can be shown at all. Like
I know that's what's so annoying because we saw it and she said I have 2 nannies, but it's like the nannies could be great characters because the nannies are like
when we want to save your show, get like a really funny nanny and they can be on the show too.
But the nannies being like this fucking stupid bitch, like you know what I mean? That's funny. Whenever the son was like, remember whenever they were like, who's a better driver, mommy or daddy? And the son looks at them both and goes, you both suck, or something like that. That was the funniest part of the whole show. Yeah. And they were dying laughing because they knew it was funny. It was funny. If the kids would just like slam them within an inch of their life every episode, that's a funny show.
By the way, it's my kids do that too. I think it's the best. I'm like, I love it. I love it when they roast me. It's like funny.
But that's funny. They like, she so badly wants. She thinks she has star power and she has 0, like again, -5 star power. And he, generally because of who he has so much star power that it's almost overpowering the show. When he will like do those takes to the camera and then talk right to the camera because he's like, please save me from whatever the fuck this is that I've turned my life into. Yeah. Like that's compelling to me. For those of you that haven't watched the show, this is what the storyline of the show is so far. We see them. They're there. Like their kids are just in their house. Then they do a lot of like, they don't talk about it, but there's all these like interstitial cuts of like news coverage of like him shooting that woman, the camera person that died. And so but they don't speak about it at all. Then it's like them there in their house and they're like, we have so many kids. It's so crazy how many kids we have. Isn't it crazy? And then there's a whole package on like how she isn't a gold digger and she hasn't Googled herself in a long time.
Sure.
But
sure
like yeah, of course.
She's
and
like a Google alert going on when she's like in the shower. I mean, she's like checking notifications ASAP.
But she like isn't a gold digger, and here's why. It's like, no, be a gold digger. I like that. That's funny.
Lean into it. Yeah.
Like you are one. No, it doesn't matter what you say to me. I think you're a gold digger, so it's fine.
Yeah.
You're 26 years younger than an A-list celebrity. You're a gold digger de facto forever. It doesn't matter what you do, and that's completely fine. Just be that. But she's like, oh, I'm not a gold digger, and here's why. And then she's like, and I'm also not a fraud because I'm bilingual. And then she's on the defense the whole episode. And I'm like, no.
Do you think that the kids are like, I can't believe my name is like Leonardo.
Raphael, yeah.
Raphael and
the Ninja Turtles, yeah.
I wonder about the kids like later in life. Like, what's that tell-all going to be like? And by the way, I'm going to get the first copy of it.
Can't wait. We're lining out to Barnes & Nobles to get it signed by them.
There's going to be at least 3 that are like, because Alec Baldwin has a very good sense of comedic timing. I'm going to say at least 3 of them also will get that.
100%.
Because the thing is, they have a mom who wants to act like she's Mary Poppins.
And it's like, no, have 17 nannies. Like, that's funny.
That's much more funny.
We also already believe that you have this. Like, that's the problem is that they're trying to be like, okay, then guys, P.S., then they're like, after she like defends herself for all the reasons we don't like her and not well, they're then like, oh God, what are we going to do? They go get the kid's haircut. And then she's like, we have to drive out to the Hamptons. It's going to be so bad. And then they like, for the rest of the episode, she's like, doing a weird like diagram of all the kids, like where all the kids are going to sit in the car.
Nobody does
drive
that, by
out
the
to
way.
the
I've
Hamptons.
never done that one time. No one does that. Nope.
They never drive themselves. So that's why she had to figure this out because they had never done this before. And they had to try to be like, no, we can't take like 2 Blade like helicopters to the Hamptons. We need to like drive because we're relatable. And so she needed to do this. And this is like what a bad producer does is be like, okay, you should like figure out who's going to be in what car where because that's content. And it's not because it's boring.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, don't put me with all the cats. And then she like puts him with all the cats. But again, we don't see him with all the cats. Where is that shot of like
I'm dying of like an allergic reaction, like with an EpiPen.
In the car where then he's in the car alone and he looks back and it's like, meow. Like, that's funny. That didn't happen. Because again, they have 7 kids, but you only saw 3 of the kids in the shot. He had the other kids in the car.
At 24, I lost my narrative, or rather it was stolen from me. And the Monica Lewinsky that my friends and family knew was usurped by false narratives, callous jokes, and politics. I would define reclaiming as to take back what was yours. Something you possess is lost or stolen, and ultimately you triumph in finding it again. So I think listeners can expect me to be chatting with folks, both recognizable and unrecognizable names, about the way that people have navigated roads to triumph. My hope is that people will finish an episode of Reclaiming and feel like they filled their tank up. They connected with the people that I'm talking to and leave with maybe some nuggets that help them feel a little more hopeful. Follow Reclaiming with Monica Lewinsky on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Reclaiming early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
Hey, true crime fans. Ever dreamt of solving cases and poring over evidence with top podcasters, criminal experts, and your fellow true crime enthusiasts? Join us for Wondery's Exhibit C inaugural True Crime Cruise aboard the luxurious cruise ship the Norwegian Joy for an unforgettable voyage from Miami to Nassau, Bahamas. Take to the high seas for this enthralling around-the-clock true crime experience. Immerse yourself with some of the best minds in criminal psychology and your favorite true crime podcast hosts and experts, all while enjoying top-tier amenities and breathtaking ocean views. The Exhibit C Cruise is the ultimate true crime experience, where you and fellow enthusiasts can share theories and participate in activities like an immersive murder mystery, a Beat the Polygraph challenge, or self-defense classes that would deter any would-be criminal. Come for the intrigue. Stay for the sunshine. Go to exhibitccruise.com to learn more and sign up for the pre-sale.
What do you make of them leaning into like he's the curmudgeon who's got OCD? And then she said he had PTSD. And then she's sort of like, yeah, I mean, he's got real OCD.
I mean, I believe all of it. Why? I mean,
well, you do. I just figured this out because I used to have a blinking problem when I was a kid. And my mom said I just outgrew it. And my friend who's a therapist said, oh, lots of times kids develop like OCD tics when it's super stressful part of their life, time of their life. And it's their only thing that they can really control. I wish they kind of explained that. Like he's doing this because he has no control over his life. He has all of these children. His wife is like running the operation and he has no idea what's going to happen next month at trial.
Yeah. No,
Why
but they didn't want
to,
because they didn't film any of this part of it being like, they were like, not going to talk about it, the Baldwins. Right. And then the producers probably went there. And then when they got to the Hamptons, they then have that weird scene where she's like sitting on the counter and he's like, you look like an espresso model. And I was like, what is this? My whole family was like, my mom's best friend watches like Love is Blind. She watches everything. She loves it so much. She's the character. If you met her, you would be like obsessed with her. She's Austrian. They're like my parents' best friends. I've known them my entire life. They're like the two best skiers that we've ever had, like I've ever been with ever my entire. They were supposed to be here, and then they couldn't come on this trip. This is our like yearly trip that we spent with them. She one time, it was on like Perfect Match or something. We were watching this. It was a couple years ago on this exact same trip, on this exact same week, and we were watching like some Love is Blind or something, and two people kissed each other, and she went, "Gag me with a spoon," and we turned that into like a saying that we always say.
Well, my mom used to say that too. It's like a valley term. Gag me with a spoon.
When she was sitting on that weird like countertop, my whole family went, "Gag me with a spoon," and then when they were doing that weird thing where he was like being sexual with her, and then she's like, "Give me ice" or whatever the fuck that was. It was so dumb.
Yeah.
And again, everyone remember, please, like if this was like funny bad, like if it was like them making fun of her, I would be like, this is the best show ever. But it's not. Mm-hmm. It's so earnest. And she's like, and then they sit there and they have that weird conversation that, the producers were like, you have to address the fact that like Alec might not be here next month and he might be in jail. Because at the time we were like, oh, he's going to jail. Like, right?
Yeah,
like,
we did.
Sure, like 100%. So they, that they like pressured them and they made all the kids leave and be with the nanny. Again, where were the kids during this scene? Like drowning in the pool alone? No, they were with like 17 nannies. So just show the nannies. They do this scene in their kitchen and they're like, we're going through so much. And like, there's so much that we are going through. Like they just like said words to each other. And it was supposed to be like
word salad. Yeah.
Them being nervous about the trial. Mm-hmm. And it was just like, them speaking word. And again, this is where I would come in, being the bad guy, my favorite thing ever, and being like, hi, what you just said was nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So let's like really be real and do this for real, not whatever the fuck that just was, because that was unairable. You know what I mean? And then but instead they just like let them say it, because that they probably were like, we're not talking about the trial, we're not talking about it. And they like pressured them so hard to talk about it. Yeah. And then that's what we got, was like that weird scene where she was like, and we will be there and here and there, and our children are alive, and their reality is our reality. Like it was, I need to actually go transcribe it so that Dominic and I can like do it, because it was so nothing. Like,
yeah,
it was like a bunch of words that they said. And I was like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Am I wrong?
You're not wrong at all. You're not wrong at all.
And he was like, yes, it is stressful to also be in this reality. That's how they talked about it.
He's probably chewing on wood outside, and she is just like dancing around the kitchen and like, do you have a good shot for me? And like, is this a good lighting? And you're just like, how are you two living in the same planet, let alone the same house?
Well, they're not. And that's what we're seeing.
Well,
but it's not even a good and again, I wish it was a good, that's fun.
That would have been fun if he was like in a closet and the cameraman comes in and he goes, this woman has no clue the stress that I'm under. And she is trying to pretend that like she's going to have a popsicle line in about 3 months. And I don't know what to do to tell her.
Popsicle line.
I mean, just running through the scenarios in my head, I'm like, oh, she's going to have like a kitchenware thing. And she thinks that she's going to do a cookbook and then a yoga book. And then she's going to have a line of skirts and squirts or whatever.
Can I say though, I'm not going to lie. She looks better now than she did whenever they first got married. Like she could look crazy and I feel like she looks great.
She looks great. Body be banging, huh?
But what I don't like, no, she doesn't. She body be banging, but I don't like her with the like big jeans, like laying on the couch. Like the interviews are disgusting. When they're sitting together in the interview and he looks like she rolled him in off the street. This guy, now that we know that the timeline, this is being filmed in June of 2024. He went to trial July 2024. Yeah, I mean, he was probably up shit's creek. Also, did he at any point just turn on a TV and like put on TLC and then just see like the commercial for like 90 Day Fiancé and he's like, where am I and how did I get here? No, I think But again, I think they were like, we're going to make it about like parenthood. And everyone was like, no. Like I couldn't care fucking less about that from you too. You know what I mean?
No, like that's like also, I don't like, I have a lot of kids. I don't need to watch a show about kids. And
it's also just like our kids, there's so many kids. I'm like, okay, cool. Like anyway, what? Yeah, I knew that already. Like you're not, tell me something.
Yeah, maybe if it was like
know.
A family we had never met before and you know what, you're right. If it had been a show about a very wealthy family in the Hamptons and they had 7 children all in close proximity in age, and then they had like 4 nannies in the house, that would be fun to watch. Do you see like how that works?
And the nannies being like,
hate the parents.
These fucking losers. That's so funny.
That's so funny.
Like that's incredible.
We just create a new show?
No, but by the way, like they would look great from the nannies hating them. Like that makes it funny and us being like, oh yeah, they are monsters. Ha ha. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's fun. Like then they get to sidestep it because they're being real about them being monsters. Like that's good. But instead she's trying to be like, we just are just having kids. The whole episode is her. P.S. Everyone don't watch the show. Like it's so bad. Like I don't want to see another episode. I don't need to see another episode of it because there's nothing happening.
You know what I was also worried about is that she said we all just kind of hang together. But I'm like, I mean, I got a lot of kids too. They need friends that are not in your house. Like they need to be around other people and have some perspective of the way other people live in the world and listen to their cultures and traditions and all. Just to have your kids like as this tribe hanging out together all the time is terrible.
Their whole life is based on a lie, so they have to they can't.
Oh yeah, you gotta keep it tight. Okay, so a friend of mine lives across the street from them in New York. I sent you a picture of Ilaria with the children and another adult, and she said that she sat behind them on the subway home. I guess they took a car. From Times Square to take a picture of their big billboard. And then they took the subway back. And she said, Ilaria was very loud on the phone in this Spanish accent. So it has come back. It has come back.
It's there. She has it at the ready at all times. And again, if she's speaking in Spanish, like that's fine. If she's speaking in Spanish or just English in Spanish accent. Do you know which one it was?
She says, Alec, Ilaria, photographer, 2 nannies, and 7 kids. They went to Times Square to see their billboard and then took the subway back. She was talking on the phone in her Spanish accent loudly so I could hear it.
Again, photographer.
They brought a photographer to Times Square.
Main point of that is photographer.
2 nannies.
We're just like everyone else.
This is what I don't understand.
Show us the nannies. We saw one of the nannies the one time whenever she's putting the kids in the car. Like they're there.
Well, she's probably like, not on, hit the deck. Like dove under the seats.
Yeah, they're just like not on. They're like not on camera, which I don't like that.
No, it's you know what? It seems supremely classist. Well, I remember there was a report that he was very difficult in the beginning of filming the show. He was like telling them what to do, and I was like, yeah, it's a guy with like capri shorts, like standing behind you with like, the camera.
No, and he never forget, like in Tina Fey's book, Bossy Pants, like she has an entire chapter where she just talks about how like Alec Baldwin taught her how to be on camera. Mm-hmm. And he was like, no, you're like doing theater. You need to do like, this is how like TV and movies are made. Like Here's how you act like when there's a single camera thing happening for you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, he's like, you're doing SNL right now and you need to be doing like not that. And like taught her all this shit. And like, he's no joke, you know?
Well, assuming that he did that maybe with the kids too. Like, okay, guys, sit around the fire for a minute. We're going to be making a show and this is what you got to do.
Yeah, he looks terrible.
I also kind of don't like, if the whole point of the show is to talk about kids and family on a TLC, they just kind of run through the kids quickly. Like,
well, it's
Mary
all
Lou,
about like, yeah.
And then it was like, we move on. Huh?
And all the interview bites are like bad. Like if I was in the interview chair with her for like 2 hours, I could crack her.
If you were in the chair, you would have been like, Carmen, like, what'd you just buy at Sephora? Like, do you have a boyfriend? Like, who are your friends? Like, what activities? No one, by the way, this is not a real family situation. Real family situations when you have big families, especially when you have big families, is like, okay, who's going to soccer? When's the tutor coming over?
Yeah.
Do you have a play date? Or can you get off your iPad because your brain's going to rot? Like all that stuff. There's like no mention of anything that's relatable to any family anywhere.
Well, and I also like whenever every shot is them being like, where's the baby? And the baby's like climbing up a chair where she can like fall off and like crack her head open and die. Do you know what I mean? Like
Alec Baldwin.
Like every shot is like the youngest little baby being like, I'm like about to like fall off of a bridge. And like, so.
Wait, so maybe that's the tell all that we want. It's the youngest one.
I just like, it just wasn't good.
Yeah.
It was about nothing. It was about nothing. And again, this trial is like looming over them, but you can tell that none of the things that they never talk about it. They talked about it that one time in that kitchen. And that was like, they thought was like bearing their souls. And it was truly nothing. And then all of the rest of the stuff about the trial is all in her interviews, not even his. And then it's all just like footage that they put in after they stopped shooting.
Oh, is that because he soon left? Maybe, and he was going through trial and he was in a hotel and he like was not in a space where he could interview. So they had to front load her because he wasn't available.
But also they need to like pepper it in afterwards.
Oh yeah.
You can do an interview last week and put it in the edit of the show. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
well, we'll know from the haircut. We'll know from the haircut, won't we?
But it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with like again, you can make things match. Please. It's been months and months and months later I've interviewed someone and that's been like in the episode of the thing. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like you could have done that a month ago and put it in the final cut of the show if you really needed to. But it's like I think that they were like, Hilaria, you have to talk about this. And she was like, okay. And then he didn't want to. Right. Like that's what we're going to find out, I think, later in the show. Not that either of us are going to watch it.
Well, what do you think is going to happen? Do we get another season of this?
No. It's so bad.
Yeah, it got panned. And again, University panned like all the outlets.
If it was like that on purpose, that would be something. There is nothing there in this show. It's them just like, oh, and our kids are. It's crazy that we have so many kids. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I already fucking knew that. Like that's like beat one, and then you get into like all the different things. Like they try to be like, what is one word that describes each kid? Like blah blah blah. They tried to like do these like archetypal things with them, and it didn't even work.
No. If they do get a second season, Carmen is going to get a talent agent and they're going to like chase that story because that allows them to get out of the house, but they don't have to talk about the fact that the mom has like this made up accent.
I know she really thought she like skirted right by it all, didn't she?
Oh, skirt right back. Right.
I know, but the show's terrible.
She took a Corvette and she just drove down that driveway and right out of town. And she doesn't think she'll ever have to talk about it again because she thinks she's a star.
I know, and she has zero star power. Yeah. Like zero. Listen, there's many a time that we've been on this here show together and I've been like, you know what, this person's all right. And they're like, not. All those people are above her.
Yes.
I find her so... And again, I don't like a
lie. I don't like a lie about something dumb like this and like pretending that you come from another country when you went to school in America. It's so dumb. Why would you lie about it? It's so dumb.
And then even after that, be like, I grew up in Spain. I really love Spain. Did I think that I was being weird? No, but everyone else did. And so oops, like there were so many ways for her to get around this instead of being like, I speak Spanish, so I have a Spanish accent. And it's like, you're a fucking loser. Like, know what I mean?
I was talking to Ryan Bailey about this today, and he said, well, that's the kind of the thing they're doing, the Kardashians now, because like Northwest tried it out or got this opportunity to be in The Lion King, and, you know, God bless, but it's like, she's not going to be a Broadway star.
Yeah.
But Kim kind of turned it and was like, well, you guys are weird because you're reacting like that with the child's performance. Ilaria is doing that too. She's like, well, why are you guys being weird? Like, I'm not weird. You guys are weird.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
No, but she's not doing it like Kim is.
Wow. All right. Well, I think we fixed not an issue, but just
did we?
We just broke down why the show's not working.
It's sad because like it could have been really fun, but it's not. It's like boring.
Yeah.
Like I didn't like this. I was like, my mom and my aunt were watching it with me, and then we got up from it once we were done watching it. My mom goes, "Well, that's 45 minutes of my life. I'll never
get back."
Like for real though.
Did your mom like ski down the hill with a cigarette in her hand and a scarf in the other? And she was like, why did it all go wrong last night?
If only. No, but like we were like, well, this is terrible. And again, my mom and my aunt and I watch every single please. My mom and I watched like Real Housewives, like season 1 of OC, like together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's like in the trenches, like with us. And she was like, what the fuck was this that we just watched?
Well, I said, Dan, I got to watch this show about Alec Baldwin and his wife who pretends she's Spanish. And he goes like, why is Alec Baldwin in a reality show? And I go, okay, good night. He was like, I don't know what's happening. I got to go.
It's
All right. Well,
they need money, right? That's why they did this, because they need the money and for sympathy.
I don't know if they need money, though.
If he, okay.
He's had that house for 40 years. He's not paying a mortgage on that.
I know, but he's not in any movies anymore. And their kids' school.
Yeah, you're right. Wow. Okay. Well, thank you for your service. I'm sorry to take you away from skiing for this very important episode.
No, it's important.
Are you ever going to return? And what are you going to cover next on your show?
Yes, we're leaving what, tomorrow? No, Wednesday we're leaving. And then what are we covering? I think it's your episode this week.
Oh, good. Jessica Biel.
Claire
Timberlake. So, yes.
Everyone tune in for Jessica Biel, fixed by KKC herself.
Good times. It's been a good week. I got to tell you, it's been a good week. It's been a good week. Yeah. Tell everybody where they can listen to your show and follow you.
You can find me at the DeRosa, and you can find my podcast, Fixing Famous People, anywhere you find podcasts. We just in the Patreon at the $20 tier we just did Fixing Dead People, and we talked to the spirit of Brittany Murphy, and it was a roller coaster.
Well, did she talk about the day she died and all that?
We sure did.
Oh, oh my God! Wait, is she like? Is that guy like with her in the afterlife?
I asked that. No, thankfully.
Okay, good. Because like she needs to see somebody else. She needs. I
needed to know, and my friend Erin Bagwell. I was like, "Is he there with her?" And she was like, "No," but she needs all of our prayers. So everyone.
Oh, okay.
When you're giving a little bless up to Britney at noon, like Britney Spears in my prayer chain. I give an extra bless up to Brittany Murphy because she needs our love, because she's right now in like a limbo space.
Still?
And she regrets what happened.
So
she needs our love.
We got to get to the bottom of what that meant.
She needs our love. She needs our love.
Got it.
Erin should come up. My friend Erin should come on this podcast and she should talk about all this with us, because we've uncovered many a thing about a celebrity. Is what you know.
Good.
But that's a good episode for us to do here. But we need her love. Everyone send love to Brittany Murphy, because she needs to, she needs it.
We got it. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
The amazing Kate Casey.
Thank you, Chris DeRosa, for coming back to talk to me about the show. Make sure you guys are subscribed to this podcast and leave a 5-star review. Please join the Facebook group Reality Life with Kate Casey, and bonus episodes on my Patreon at patreon.com/Kate Casey. And follow me on social media. My Instagram is at KKCCA. TikTok, it's Kate Casey. And then Twitter, Blue Sky, Threads, all at Kate Casey. And join me tomorrow. I've got an episode with Ryan Bailey, and we talk about all these Bravo shows. So lots to come this week. Make sure that you check back.
What's up, guys? It's your girl Kiki, and my podcast is back with a new season. And let me tell you, it's so good. And I'm diving into the brains of entertainment's best and brightest, okay? Every episode, I bring on a friend and have a real conversation. And I don't mean just friends. I mean the likes of Amy Poehler, Kel Mitchell, Vivica Fox. The list goes on. And now I have my own YouTube channel. So follow, watch, and listen to Baby, This is Keke Palmer on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. Watch full episodes on YouTube, and you can listen to Baby, This is Keke Palmer early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery. And where are my headphones? Because it's time to get into it. Holla at your girl.